Let's work on porting the existing Selenium project. We already created a Selenium project and from the scratch, okay, so where we also implemented framework concepts, and that project, that particular Selenium project, now I am going to convert it to a Maven project, okay, and the same thing that I'm going to execute, that the same thing, once it is converted to the Maven project, the same thing that I'm going to execute it. Let's see that how we can do. So this is the sample script that we just created, okay, and we don't require the sample script. Let's delete it. This one also. You see that all your source code is available here from the previous project, from the previous Java project. You have created all your page classes here under the com.wordpress.pages, and you have created all your com.wordpress test under this package, and all the utilities that is required for you, you have created under com.wordpress.utils. Okay, so what we have to do is select all these packages, select like this, do control C, and this is your previous existing project. This project, it's a Java project that I am converting it to a Maven project, right? We already created a Maven project, okay, a empty Maven project we already created, that I am porting now. Do control C and paste under src test Java. That's it. Okay, we are also having you can also see something like this. Okay, we are also having resources, right? All the resources like object.properties, login.xlx, all the Excel files and object.properties we are kept under the resources. Okay, copy this resource, copy this resources folder and paste under src test, under the src test. Okay, make sure that. So that's all about and we also having a testng configuration file, right? So copy this testng.xml. Okay, so and paste under the root, that is automation. That's it. So if you see on a high level, your project structure should be looking like this: pom.xml and testng.xml. In under the src, you can see two folders. One is Java and the other one is resources. In the resources, you can able to see all the resource files that is required for us. And under the Java, you can see all your package related code, all your class files, that is pages, test, utils. Okay, something like that. That's fine. That's fine. Now, if you see that there are couple of compilation issues, go to the problems, and there are 30 compilation issues. Let's look at them and understood what is the problem. It says that after method cannot be resolved. Okay, after method, before method, and assertion, which are related to the test engine, right? And you can see HSSF sheet, HSSF workbook, all these things which are related to the data driven concept, all these things which are used for reading the data from Excel file. All these classes we created to read the data from the Excel file. Okay, and yeah, so if you see that, what I understood is we don't have a dependency jar, that is testng.jar, and that is one thing. And we don't have Apache POI jars, Apache POI libraries, or Apache POI jars, which are used for us to read the data from Excel file. Okay, these two dependency jars we don't have under our pom.xml. So, and that is the reason we are seeing couple of compilation errors, right? So if you see that, if you see the package and go to the util, so all the classes that is required for reading the data from Excel file, that is HSF workbook, all those things, we are unable to resolve because we don't have those libraries into our Maven project. And also, if you see all the test files, such as after method, before method, all those things, and if you see the input, we don't have any jars. I mean, we don't have references to these class files, which are available in the test.ng jar. Okay, so let's add those dependency jars to our pom.xml. Okay, let's find out test.ng dependency target. Go to Google page and type test.ng Maven or Maven test.ng, whatever it is. And you can see something like this, test.ng Maven. Just click on this one. And you can see the dependency tag. Just copy it and paste it into our dependency. If you see that we don't have any test.ng, but as and when I add this, let's make a format. How do we do the format? Okay, just Control A, Control Shift F. So this format is not mandatory. So if you do the format, your pom.xml looks neat. Okay, it will look in a proper way. Now you can see as and when I added and saved this pom.xml, the required test.ng jars are downloaded and kept under Maven repository, into our Maven repository, right? If you see the Maven dependencies, where it is the Maven dependency. You can able to see test.ng jar here, okay, which is just downloaded. And still we are having a couple of issues which are belongs to Apache PY libraries. We haven't added to our pom.xml. So let's go to the Google page again and take a new tab, google.com, and type Apache PY Maven. Just click on this one, Maven repository, org Apache PY. Okay. So if you see that Apache PY and Java API to access Microsoft format files, and there is Apache PY, Java API to access Microsoft format files. There are two things are there. One is PY and the other one is PY -oo XML. If you remember, we used to add PY libraries as well as the library which is under the PY -oo.xml, right? So I'll show you. So if you remember, we used to add all these charts to our build path, okay, and we used to add the libraries which are under this OO XML-lib, right? In the similar way, now we need to add dependency tag from here as well as from here. Okay, let me add. So open in a new tab, and this one also in a new tab. Okay, so let's go here. We have 3.14, that is a beta version. Please do not ever go to the beta version. So the stable version is 3.13. Let's go to the 3.13, and you can see, come down, you can see a dependency tag. Let's copy it. This is related to PY libraries. So add a dependency tag, okay, and go to the browser again, and in the another tab we have opened py-oo xml. Okay, add this dependency tag. Okay, so go to the 3.13, that is the stable release. Never go to beta version. And this is the one, copy it, that is about py-oo xml. So by adding this particular dependency tag, you're going to fetch all the libraries that are related to py-oo xml as well as pvoid libraries. As and when you add and save the file, please remember you have to save the file to fetch all the required jars under your Maven dependencies. Now you can see there are no errors. There are no errors. Your project is compilable now. Okay, so let's Control A and type Control Shift F to format the pom.xml. Now you can see that it is formatted properly. Now I need to execute this particular testng.xml. To execute this particular testng.xml, you need a plugin. Okay, these are the dependency tags that you added to make sure that your source code can be compiled. Your source code can be compiled. All the dependencies just we have to add with the help of dependency tag. If you are working with a Java project, however, you add the dependency just to your build path. When it comes to the Maven project, you have to add all your dependency just in the form of dependency tag. Okay, it is very, it is pretty easy. If you remove some of the some of the dependency tags, okay, if you remove some of the dependency tags, you can see that couple of jars which are related to that particular dependency tag are going to be removed, right? It is pretty easy. Maintaining the jars is pretty easy. Let's say tomorrow Selenium has introduced 2.5.2.53. Let's say going forward, Selenium has introduced a newer version, that is 2.53. Okay, so if it is a Java project, what we used to do, we used to go to the build path, remove all the existing jars under the build path, and download the new jars, okay, in a form of a zip, extract it, and all those new jars we are going to add it to the build path. Again, we are going to save it. But when it comes to the Maven, what you all have to do is just change this 2.52 to 2.53. That's it. It is going to, for your case, it is going to remove all the previous jars, and it is going to download all the newer jars. Okay, it has a intelligence and capability to find out what is the latest version from the pom.xml, and let's remove all the older version jars. It has the capability. Okay, so it is pretty easy to work with the Maven. That's the reason everybody started choosing Maven these days. Okay, now to execute this particular testng.xml, okay, so you cannot okay, you can do that from the testng. If you want to execute this particular testng.xml, you can do that. And if you want to execute this particular testng.xml from the pom.xml, okay, so that is also we can do. So first, let's make sure that whatever we ported till now is working fine, right? To do that, let's select the testng.xml, right click here, and then click run as testng suite. Let's make sure whatever we ported till now is working fine. I'm expecting something is going to be failed. Yeah, I know the reason. Let it fail and I'll explain. It is open the browser and open the wordpress.com, and it is failed. Okay, the next step is to click on the login link, but it is failed. Let's see what it says. It says that resources login.xls is not found. Okay, so why it is not found? Let's look at it very carefully. Okay, from the root, from the project directory. Okay, let's go to the top. From the project directory, it is looking for resources. It is looking for a folder called resources. Okay, so is there any folder called resources under the project, under the automation project? No, we don't have any resources folder under the automation project. Okay, That is the reason. If the resources folder itself is not available, how it is going to fetch the object.properties, right? Okay, from the main project, it is looking for the resources. Under that, it is looking for object.properties. So if you see that resources folder itself is not available under the root project, and how it can able to fetch object.properties, and that is the reason this is failed. Okay, so to work with the Maven, there is a different approach. We have to do that. Okay, to find out the object.properties, okay, to find out the resources files, that could be object.properties, or that could be Excel files, whatever it is, to find out the resources, to find out the resources under the Maven project. So there is a different approach, so we are going to work with that now. So where are we using object.properties, all those stuff? So we'll be using in the utilities, right? So if you see that, we will be using them in the utilities. Okay, so yeah, utilities are basically to work with those files, but actually in the page classes we are using them. Okay, so from where we are referring all those files, we are referring in the page classes. Okay, dot resources object dot properties. This piece of code is available. This piece of code is available in all the pages. If you want to see dashboard page and home page. Okay, so wherever you are referring the resources files, wherever you are referring the resources files, you have to change that in order to work with the Maven project, right? So for that, what I'm doing is in the dashboard page, okay, let's let's declare a property util. Okay, go to the driver. Inside the constructor, what you can do is define a class loader. You have to write two lines in order to fetch that particular resource file. Class loader, I can say loader equal to get class dot get class loader. So it is to create an object for the class loader. Once you create an object for the class loader, okay, using this loader you can call get resource, and you have to pass the name of the file. Okay, what is the name of the file? That is, it will be available in our resource folder, right? So the resource folder will be available here. That is object.properties. Let's object.properties. Okay, and it is going to get that resource file. Now to get the path of that file, get file. Okay, which is going to return a string variable which gives you the file path. Now defined, okay, assign your property util with the right object, new property util, and property util need a file path, right, or the file name, exact file name starting from the file name is nothing but the entire path of the file you have to give. So that is file path. Okay, let's do the same thing for wherever you are using the resource files. That could be either object.properties or login.excel or whatever it is. Okay, you have to do these two lines. You have to do these two lines to fetch the resource files, to fetch the resource file path, and that file path you can pass it to your utility. Okay, so these two lines you need to remember. It is for fetching the resource files under the Maven project. So it works for Maven project. Let's copy it and keep the same thing for other page classes. Okay, so now file path. Okay, you don't need to hard code it, you just have to give the file path. Go to the login page. Okay, so just remove that. Add those two lines, that we already created. Copy these two lines go to the login page and use this file path. You don't need to hardcode this value because file path knows where object.properties is available. You pass object.properties to a get resource and it is going to return the file path by calling the get file. These two lines you need to remember and use it wherever you are referring the properties file or resource files. Okay, so let's assign property util under the constructor itself. That is a good practice. Okay, I hope I have modified all the page classes, that is a dashboard page, home page, login page, and profile page. Okay, and make sure you replace this file path for this hard-coded value. Okay, so done. So we are done here, and we are also done in the dashboard page. Okay, that's fine. And let's go to login test. Now here you might be referring the Excel file. Okay, so for that, to get the login.xls resource file, we have to use again these two lines. Copy these two lines into this particular test. Now the file name is not object.properties, that is login.xls, right? Login.xls, and take this file path and pass it to your Excel util. This file path knows where your login.xlx is available. Okay, so that's it. So I have modified all the necessary stuff that is required for our execution. Now I'm going to run the testng.xml. Let's make sure it is working fine, working fine, and then we'll know the step that is running the testng.xml from the pom.xml. Okay, so till now we just running the testng.xml. Let's see. First of all, it works fine. Okay, it has opened a browser and it is maximized and it has launched the wordpress.com and it has clicked on the login, and yes, it is working fine. Okay, means it is entering something is nothing but it is working fine. Let's see the console. Two run, one failure. Okay, refresh and you see the test output and index.html. Open with web browser. Okay, there are two methods. One failed, that is login with invalid username and password. It got failed because you can also see the error. It got failed because due to the assertion error, that is it is expecting for a error message, looks that is not found. Okay, so doesn't know the website might be changed with the error message, we doesn't know. That's fine, but what we need, we wanted to execute our testng.xml, and that is executed very well. It executed all the methods, but one of the assertions failed, so that we have to correct it later. That's not a problem. Okay. So that's all about porting a Java project to the Maven project and executing it. Whatever we ported to make sure that it is working fine. We also executed testng.xml. It has executed all the test methods and it has given the result for us, right? That's fine. Now let's work on invoking the testng.xml from the POM. So